Hi, I'm Jared Wolf, Senior Editor and Assyriologist here at Museum of the Bible. As Senior Editor, I spend my days reading every letter of every word on every text panel, every label, every brochure, and every digital table in the museum. As an Assyriologist...
How old are the green ones?
No, wait a minute. Assyriologist. As an Assyriologist, I study the ancient cultures of Assyria and Babylonia, two cultures that had a major impact on ancient Israel and that show up in some significant ways in the biblical text. I find those ancient stories in texts and artifacts here at the museum, and I bring my favorites to you right here on The Bible Is So. Hi. Today we're going to start the first of 3 episodes on one of the most impressive topics in the history of Judah, administrative stamp seals. So for all you philatelists, that's philatelists out there, this one's for you. Now, behind me you can see an excellent array of the exact type of stamp seals we're going to be talking about. Now, in the Hebrew Bible, especially in the books of Kings and the Prophets, and also written about again in the books of Chronicles, we see the ways the different kingdoms of Israel and Judah interacted with some of the other kingdoms around them and also the surrounding empires. Now, while Egypt to the south always maintains an influence and a presence in the Levant, sometimes a military one, the succession of Mesopotamian kingdoms that are going to subjugate and eventually destroy the kingdoms of Israel and Judah begin with Assyria and then move through Babylonia, Persia, and for our purposes tonight, Seleucid Greeks. Now, though the Bible talks about each of these empires differently, their impact can be seen beyond the biblical text in the archaeological record and artifacts. One set of artifacts that seems to document this succession of empires and the imperial systems in Judah meant to address it are stamped on the handles of storage jars just like these. Now, I know that may not sound impressive, but recent research on these stamps by Professor Oded Lipschitz and his students at Tel Aviv University have proposed a very compelling hypothesis about the nature of these stamps and how they were used. And in this episode, we're going to look at the first part of that system, and then over the next 2 episodes, we'll track it until the time of the Babylonian exile. So let's start with a couple of impressions here in the People of the Land, History and Archaeology of the Land of Israel, which is a long-term exhibition on loan from the Israel Antiquities Authority. Now, this exhibit explores the different peoples who inhabited the land of Israel through their material culture over a period of about 2,000 years. And it has an excellent array of the type of stamp seal impressions we're talking about. Now, the first thing I want you to look at in these two is the icon at the center. This is a scarab, or a winged beetle. It's a symbol of Egyptian royalty and power. Now, we know the kings of Judah and likely of Israel borrowed some of this Egyptian symbolism to express their own power, right? To really get to the royal part of these stamp seals, let's look at the top 4 letters. These 4 letters at the top are the Hebrew letters Lamed, Mem, Lamed, Kaf, and they spell Lamelech, meaning to or for the king in the sense of belonging to the royal administration. Now, this is also where many of these seals get their modern name as Lamelech seals. At the bottom of the seal is the name of a place. Now, here it's Hebron, and in this one it's unfortunately been effaced. But before we get into what these names mean, let's look at a third Lamelech seal. To do that, we're going to need to pop down to the History of the Bible exhibit, 1 floor below us. So help me out. Thank you, Jim. Now, take a look. Here's a beautiful ceiling. This ceiling is especially... no, not that one. Down here. Yes, okay, so perfect. So this is another object on loan from the Israel Antiquities Authority. And at the top, you can see the 4 letters we discussed, spelling Lamelech. But suddenly, the scarab is gone, and a winged sun disk appears. Now, the winged sun disk is a symbol of Assyrian royalty, and it's much used in their art and decoration. Now, again, at the bottom, we see a place name. This time, it's an unknown place name and of unknown pronunciation. The letters are Mim, Mim, Shin, Tav. They spell Mameshit or Mamshit. We'll use Mameshit for the purposes of this video. Now, I want you to keep in mind that on this seal, just like on the scarab seal with the preserved place name, that the way the place name at the bottom is written All of the letters are together. There are no big spaces between the letters. That's going to be important. This will actually be the key to unlocking the next phase of these seals. But we'll get to that in the next episode. First, let's ask, why the switch from scarabs to sun discs? And the answer has to do, probably, with the arrival of the Assyrians and the submission of Judah as a vassal to them. Now, this act is related in 2 Kings 16, when King Ahaz, the father of Hezekiah, who will be very important in the next episode, chooses to become a vassal to Assyria if the king of Assyria would save him from Israel and Aram, who have together besieged Jerusalem with the intent to either force Ahaz to join their coalition or to kill him and replace him with a king who will do so. Now, the price of Assyria's protection is not steep, and a system of payments had to be worked out. And it's the recent research on these jars that suggests that these early stamped jars with the scarabs and then this early type of sun disk seal are the beginnings of this system to meet the imperial taxation. And it's likely that as Assyrian influence became more accepted in the Judean court and Egypt's influence waned, that Ahaz probably commissioned new seals to reflect Judah's loyalty to Assyria and show Assyria's influence on the small kingdom. Now, for those who know their Bibles, you know that this loyalty will not last. King Hezekiah, who succeeds the throne after his father Ahaz's death, will eventually rebel against Assyria, unsuccessfully. Now, Assyria's retaliation will leave deep scars across the Judean landscape, and none more so than at the great city of Lachish. But it will also instill a deep sense of pride and growing identity among the Judeans who survived, most notably those who lived in Jerusalem. And it's for the archaeologist, it is precisely these layers of destruction that are going to provide another key to unlocking the next phase of development in this system of seals. So, through these impressions, we see the influences of the two most powerful nations that border Judah. Even as we read about some of their decisions taken by the Egyptian and Judean and Assyrian kings with regard to the situation in the pages of the Hebrew Bible. And this is only part one. In the next episode, we're going to talk about how this system might have worked and what the large number of these sealings found in the destruction layer at Lachish might mean. So stay tuned, and we'll learn more about why the Bible is so impressed.
To learn more about the museum or plan your next visit, go to museumofthebible.org.